Hari Om. In our previous sessions, we have discussed what is data warehousing. In a data warehousing, we use multidimensional data model. So we discussed what is multidimensional data model, how it is being represented as a data cube. We have also discussed why data cube is used as a representation in the multidimensional data model. Then we talked about what are the different OLAP operations available, such as drilling, slicing, dicing and rotating, or you call it as pivoting. These are the different OLAP operations available. Now in this video, we are going to talk about what are the different OLAP engines available, or you call it as OLAP servers, to perform OLAP operations. The data warehouse architecture uses different types of OLAP servers. So in this video, we are going to talk about the different types of OLAP servers, or you call it as OLAP engine. We have seen the architecture of data warehouse. This is the architecture we have seen, and in this architecture we have discussed to perform the OLAP operations on the data warehouse, because the multidimensional data is presented here. So to perform the OLAP operations on this data warehouse, the OLAP server or OLAP engine is required between the data warehouse and the analytical tools. So in this video, we are going to talk about what are the different types of servers available. You can have 4 different types of OLAP servers: relational OLAP server, multidimensional OLAP server, or hybrid OLAP server. Apart from that, we can have some specialized SQL servers also, or we can have this many types of OLAP servers. Apart from these 3, we have other types of OLAP servers, something like web enabled OLAP server, desktop OLAP server, mobile OLAP server, etc. This is also available. So we'll start with relational OLAP server. Now the relational OLAP server, here we are not going to store the data in the multi-dimensional view. In the relational OLAP server, the data will be stored in the relational data model itself, not the multi-dimensional view. It is going to use the relational data model, or you call it as entity relationship model. So the data will be stored as in the case of relational database management system itself, and these servers are placed between the relational backend server and the client front-end tools. When I say relational backend servers, these are the backend servers that stores the database management system in the relational data model, and you will have lots of client or analytical tools as the front-end tools. And for storing and managing the warehouse data, because you are going to use this OLAP server only to perform OLAP operations, but the OLAP operations can be performed only on a multi-dimensional data, right? So to store the data in the warehouse, data warehouse, these servers will be using extended relational database management system. So when I say extended relational database management system, it is going to use all sort of complex queries to perform the OLAP operations, or to retrieve the data. Let me put it this way: to retrieve the data from these relational backend server, it is going to use extended relational database management system. So when I say extended relational, it is always scalable, right? It is always scalable and it is parallel, and relational database is used, and it provides storage and high speed access also. So it is not going to use your simple traditional relational data model. Not data model, it's simple relational database operations. Instead, it is going to use extended relational database management system, which can access the data. The data is available in the relational backend server. So this data can be accessed in a high speed manner. Now, when we take this relational model, so this is how the relational OLAP architecture will be available. We have the relational database servers here. It is not in the multi-dimensional data view, it is in the relational data model, right? So we have the ROLAP server in between, and we have all the front-end tools also. So when the front-end tool is requesting, the ROLAP server will be placing the complex query to the relational backend server. This is the relational backend server, and it will place a complex query, and the result set will be retrieved here, and that will be given to the front end too. Now when you take this ROLAP server, inside this server we are going to have a middle tier, we will have a presentation tier, and we will have a back tier also. So the back tier is the one, so 3 tiers will be here, and the back tier is the one, the bottommost tier will be creating a complex query, and that will be placed to the server. And in the middle tier, what it is going to do, in the middle tier, whatever data is retrieved from the relational backend server will be converted into a multi-dimensional data view, and it will be presented in the presentation tier, right? So what happens here, 3 tiers will be there. One will be the bottom tier, which will be creating a complex SQL query based on the request coming from the front end tool, right? And this query will be placed here, which you call as the SQL, and the result set will be retrieved here. Then once the result set is retrieved, the result set will be converted into a multi-dimensional view. Who will be doing it? The middle tier will be doing it. And the middle tier will be transforming the result set into multi-dimensional view, and from the multi-dimensional view, the result set will be delivered by the presentation tier. So that is what happens here. So here the application is, the multi-dimensional view is not stored anywhere. What it is going to do, based on the request, the SQL will be placed here, the result set will be transformed, it will be transformed into a multi-dimensional view and immediately given to the front end tool. So the data is not stored here. Now when you take the ROLAP, it includes the full analytical functionality by maintaining features of all the relational data. So all the analytical functionality will be available here, and it will also have the implementation of aggregation navigation logic. What do you mean by aggregation navigation logic? Because you need, for the analytical purpose, you need only the aggregation data and not the detailed transaction processing. Detailing is not required. So we need only the aggregation data, something like the total amount for the sales report, or the total number of units sold, like that. You need only the aggregation value, so that is also available in the ROLAP. And not only that, the ROLAP also provides optimization for each DBMS backend. That is, it will be creating optimized SQL statements, and it will be sent to the RDBMS, and it gets the result from RDBMS server, which will be reintegrates, because you need only integrated data as a multi-dimensional view. So obviously it will be reintegrating, and it will analyze and deliver it to the user. So that is what happens in the ROLAP. So ROLAP though it is not storing the data as multi-dimensional view, but it will be performing all sort of analytical functionality. It can have aggregation logic also, and it also has optimization process. So using this optimization process and the aggregation and analytical functionality, it can easily reintegrate and it can deliver the result set efficiently. Now, the disadvantage here in the ROLAP is the technology is limited, because you are not going to have the integrated data stored. Instead, the data will be non-integrated and you use separate tier architecture. Disparate tier architecture is used here, right? Because the data is not readily available for the analysis. Every time whenever the analysis is required, the data need to be retrieved from the backend server, then it has to be transformed or it has to be integrated, because the data is now in the non-integrated format. Here you are going to have only a non-integrated data. So every time it has to be integrated. That is one disadvantage. And the data is separate from analytical processing. Obviously, if it is multi-dimensional data, what we do? We will be storing the data in the subject orientation, right? So based on one particular subject that is required for analysis will be stored here in the case of MOLAP. But here in the ROLAP, we are going to retrieve the data. The data is only available here. Your data is not available in the server, because whatever request is coming from the front end tool, based on that the data has to be retrieved. So that is another disadvantage. The data is separate from the analytical processing, because you are not going to retrieve the analytical processing data. Instead, whatever is request coming in, by the time only the data will be decided. So the data is separate from the analytical processing, and the scope of analysis will be limited here, because you are not going to store the integrated data. So these are some of the disadvantages of relational OLAP server. Then these are the two features of ROLAP. One, the data warehouse and the relational database are inseparable. Whereas in the case of when we discussed about the data warehouse, I have already told you the relational databases will be the data source from where we retrieve and integrate the data and we store it in the data warehouse. So the data warehouse will be separate and relational database will be generally separate if it is multi-dimensional data view. But here what happens, the data warehouse and the relational database is inseparable, because every time the data need to be retrieved only from here, and there is no multi-dimensional data stored here. So that is another disadvantage. So it becomes inseparable, and whenever the dimension structure changes, the relational database should also be physically reorganized. So on the fly multi-dimensional view of the relational OLAP tool is appropriate. Okay. So whenever we change the request, obviously it has to be reorganized. So based on the request, the data will be reorganized again and again, right? And not only that, suppose say for example, now we are going to analyze based on 3 dimension, and if I want to include 2 more dimensions, 5 dimensions I want for the current analysis, obviously the relational database should also be reorganized. So that is why on the fly multi-dimensional view of ROLAP is preferred in the case of ROLAP server. Now the next type of OLAP engine is multi-dimensional OLAP engine, and the MOLAP server is for the data warehouse, whichever is using the multi-dimensional data model, and this is the one which is going to use array based multi-dimensional storage engines for multi-dimensional view of data, right? So different servers engines will be there for different kinds of multi-dimensional view of data. So it is going to be array based multi-dimensional storage engine. More than one subjects or theme can be integrated together as an array structure. So mapping multi-dimensional view of data cube to array structure. So based on, right, how many number of dimensions you want, that many number of data cubes can be added based on the multi-dimensional view, and not only that, it will be forming an array structure. So with multi-dimensional data stores, the storage utilization may be low if the data set is sparse matrix. Say for example, if you have lots of sparse values in the data set, then the storage utilization will be very, very low. Right? So what happens here in the data set, if most of the values are zeros or if most of the values are null values, then you need to have minimum storage utilization only for the multi-dimensional data store, and you can follow the array data structure. Therefore, many MOLAP server uses two levels of data storage representation to handle dense and sparse data set. So for in one you can have dense data storage, or you can have sparse data storage depending upon the data set in the multidimensional data. So this is the architecture. So what happens here, the database server will be receiving the SQL and it will be loading the data. It will be loading the data as a multi-dimensional data itself. So multi-dimensional data will be stored here. Whereas in the case of ROLAP, we place only the SQL and the result set will be given here without the multi-dimensional data being stored. But here the multi-dimensional data will be stored. That is why we have the load operation also. So we load the multi-dimensional data here and that will be stored here, right? Then it will be given to the front-end tool. So the front-end tool, whenever it is requesting, it is going to get the data only from the loaded multi-dimensional data and not from the database server. Now the advantages of MOLAP, obviously it is going to have fast indexing to pre-compute summarized data, because all the data that is stored here will have multi-dimensional view, which will have only the aggregate data. It is not going to have any detailing. Whereas here the aggregation has to be created every time. The detailing will be available in the database server. But here what happens? The detailing is available in the database server. From the details, all the aggregated data will be loaded here in the form of multi-dimensional view. So obviously it is going to have fast indexing to pre-compute summarized data, and is the MOLAP server is recommended for multi-dimensional data store, and this will give you excellent performance because fast information retrieval, because you need not get it from the relational backend server. We can directly get it from the multi-dimensional view, and it is optimal because the data is already available in the multi-dimensional view. So we can perform slicing, dicing, all OLAP operations can be easily performed, and it can also perform complex calculations because all the evaluation have been pre-generated. Is it not? Because in the multi-dimensional view, all the summary information is already available in the data cube. You need not do the calculation again. So the calculation is already done, so you get fast information retrieval. And not only that, whatever complex calculations are required, you can perform it earlier and you can keep it in the multi-dimensional view. So hence the complex calculations are not only possible but they return quickly. That is the advantage here. Now the disadvantages of MOLAP is you have limited in the amount of information it can handle, because based on the subject theme only we are going to generate the multidimensional data. So if the whatever theme you have preferred, only those theme data will be available in the multidimensional view. You will not have all the analytical information. Whatever analytical information you have decided as subject, only those data will be stored in the data warehouse. And not only that, MOLAP requires additional investment, because if you want to adopt MOLAP technology, the investment on the human resource and the capital resource are required if the data cube technology is not already existing in the organization. So that is the disadvantage you can say for MOLAP. Now when you take the MOLAP and ROLAP, so this is a simple comparison that you can have for MOLAP and ROLAP. MOLAP is better over ROLAP, where relational tables are very unnatural for multidimensional data. So in those cases you can go for MOLAP. And not only that, MD array provides, please make a note of it, it is provide efficiency in storage and operations, because all the OLAP operations can be easily performed on the multidimensional data. And the OLAP operations and the SQL are having lots of mismatch. So that is also another disadvantage if you are going to use ROLAP. And ROLAP, to perform outside current relational system to achieve the performance, you need extended relational database management system for performing the operations, right? So wherever you have multidimensional data and wherever you need lots of OLAP operations to be performed, you can prefer MOLAP rather than ROLAP, because the performance will be lesser in ROLAP and it is not going to have what do you call the a multi-dimensional view will not be available in the ROLAP. Whereas ROLAP over MOLAP, when you are going to prefer ROLAP, the ROLAP integrates with existing. So you have only relational database technology available, then you can go for ROLAP, because it can easily be integrated with the existing technology. Because MOLAP does not support ad hoc queries also, because in the multidimensional view you decide the theme and you store the data. So if you want to have some kind of new queries or temporary queries or ad hoc queries to be placed, that is not supported in MOLAP. And updating MOLAP is also very difficult, because every time you have to refresh and load the MOLAP, which will be done periodically only. So you will not have the current information, you will be having only the historical information in MOLAP. So if you need to analyze on the current data also, you have to prefer ROLAP. And encoding and compression can be easily done in ROLAP, because all the transactional processing will be available and it will have the current data. And ROLAP uses parallel relational technology also, right? So if these are the situations, we prefer ROLAP over MOLAP. If these are the situation, you can prefer MOLAP over ROLAP. Now the third type of OLAP is hybrid OLAP. So hybrid is always a combination, right? So the combination of both ROLAP and MOLAP is called as a hybrid one. So what we are going to do, the best features of multidimensional OLAP and relational OLAP will be combined into a single architecture. And this hybrid OLAP offers high scalability of ROLAP. The best feature of ROLAP is higher scalability, right? So that feature is included in hybrid OLAP, and faster computation in MOLAP. So that is also taken here in the hybrid LOAP. And the HOLAP servers allows to store large data volumes of detailed information, because we have seen here in the MOLAP we are not going to have the detailed information, right? Because the amount of information it is going to handle will be very limited, because you have only this aggregated data, and the theme what you have selected will be limited in the case of MOLAP. Whereas here you are not going to have any aggregated data. Every time aggregation has to be created, but you will have detailed data in the database server. So what we are going to do, we combine both. We combine both the ROLAP and MOLAP. So your HOLAP allows to store large data volumes of detailed information, and aggregation will also be stored separately in the MOLAP store. So this is the architecture of HOLAP. Now we are going to have all the sources here, and you will have a ETL server. The ETL server will be having, ETL server is nothing but your data warehouse server, extraction, transformation and loading. So this server will be loading the data as a multi-dimensional aggregated cube, right? So you will have this data also if you require aggregation. So aggregation will also be stored separately. Apart from that, OLAP server can directly access from the sources, the base data. You can access the data from the base data. Then you can create any ad hoc queries, or if you want to have detailed information, that can be directly retrieved from here. If you want to have aggregation, that can be retrieved from here. So this is the hybrid OLAP server, because it can access from the relational backend server, or it can access from the multi-dimensional aggregated data cube also. Then it can be given to the users, right? So this is what you call as HOLAP architecture. Now the HOLAP architecture is also known as managed query environment architecture, or it is also called as hybrid architecture. So you will have the database server, you will have a MOLAP server also. This is your relational database servers. So the front-end tool can use the SQL queries directly, and it can retrieve the result set. Or if it wants aggregate information, it can give the request to the MOLAP server, and it can load the data, and it can be given to the front-end tool, right? So both ROLAP and MOLAP are combined here in the HOLAP architecture. Now the advantages, obviously all the benefits of both MOLAP and ROLAP are available, and this provides faster access to all levels of aggregation, and it provides and the biggest advantage here is it balances the disk space requirement, as it only stores the aggregate information on the OLAP server, and the detailed record will be available in the relational database, right? So there is no duplicate copy of the detailed record to be maintained. So all the details are available here. Aggregate information is also available here. So based on the subject, all the aggregations will be available here. And if you want to create any ad hoc queries or more detailing is required, that can also be retrieved from the database server, right? But the disadvantage here is, obviously it is going to be very complicated, because you need to manage both ROLAP and MOLAP server. Apart from the ROLAP, MOLAP and hybrid OLAP, specialized SQL servers are also available. These specialized SQL servers provide advanced query language and query processing support for SQL queries over the star and snowflake schemas in a read-only environment. Star and snowflake schema are the data warehouse schema, But to achieve this, the specialized SQL servers will be using advanced query language and query processing, which is going to be a very, very complex query. So that can also be given if you have a very specialized SQL server. Now, apart from that, so this is the difference. Please look at this diagram, and these are the difference between the ROLAP, MOLAP and a hybrid. So in the ROLAP, the data warehouse relational database will be available, from where the data will be retrieved by the ROLAP server, and it will be presented as multi-dimensional view. Whereas in the MOLAP architecture, the data warehouse server will be having the data as multi-dimensional data itself. So the client will be accessing the multi-dimensional data directly. Whereas in the ROLAP, in the HOLAP, what we are going to do? The data warehouse relational database is available. So one server will be retrieving the multi-dimensional data and it will be maintained here. Whereas the client can directly access from the relational database, then it can be transformed into the multi-dimensional view and it can be given to the client. So this architecture is available here, and this architecture is available here. So this is a combination of relational and the multi-dimensional architecture. Now, apart from all these things, there are other types of or less popular types of OLAP architectures are also available. You call it as web-enabled OLAP server. So this is used in OLAP application which is accessible via web browser, and this is considered to have three-tiered architecture. It contains a client, a middleware and a database server. So the middleware is the one which will be acting as the web-enabled OLAP server, and it will be retrieving the data using the web browser. Another architecture is desktop server architecture, and it will permit the user to download one portion of the data from the database or from the data source, and it will work with the data set. This is something like your offline database management. So you retrieve the data from the database or data source, and it will be loaded into your local machine as a data set, and it can perform the operations on the data set. The third one is known as mobile OLAP server. It enables users to access and work on OLAP data and applications remotely through the use of their mobile devices. And you have spatial OLAP, which is generally used in the GIS, Geographic Information System, or GPS system, and OLAP into a single user interface. And this one facilitates the management of both spatial as well as non-spatial data. So this information I got from the I think Java Point, right? You can also go through the website of Java Point to understand what are these types of servers. So these are less popular servers. So these are available in some of the organizations where it is specific for a particular data analysis. So that's it about the different types of OLAP engines or OLAP servers available for the data warehouse architecture. Different types of OLAP servers. Thank you.